He was the founder of Kyiv and the Kyiv dynasty and the Prince of Poland. He was the founder of Kyiv and the Kyiv dynasty. Kyiv, Ukraine. The capital of Ukraine is Kyiv. Kyiv. Kyiv is the founder of Kyiv. That makes sense, right? Like the founder of Petersburg is Peter. The founder of Benjamin Franklin's Burg is Benjamin Franklin. And the founder of Kyiv is Prince Kyiv. Now, Prince Kyiv had two brothers and a sister. They all lived in the Dnieper Mountains. They built a city on the right high bank of the Dnieper named Kyiv after the oldest brother. Now, Kyiv had also named the founder of the town, was also the founder, Kyivets on the Danube. You have another city. He tried to actually establish it and then left, but it got established, Kyivets on the Danube. So this guy he's going to end up finding two fucking towns. One's Kyivets and the other is Kyiv, Ukraine. And he's from the Polish tribe. So when you're sitting there telling me that goddamn motherfucking, Oleg, a Swedish Viking, came and conquered Ukraine and that's the founder of the whatever, you're ignoring Kyiv. And Kyiv, it said he was born in the 5th century, so in the 400s, and he died in the 6th century. I don't know if those dates are correct or not. It also talks about parallel evidence, and there's archaeological evidence. Parallel evidence, you got Byzantine sources report that the Kievan prince Kyiv, originally Kuver, hanging out with Mr. Kuver, was brought up at the court of Emperor Justinian the Foist. In his youth, converted to Christianity in Constantinople, was educated there, had the great honor of the king, received benefits of the lower Danube, where he founded the town of Kyiv. But due to resistance from local tribes, could not gain a foothold there. That's Kyivets. Went to the lower Danube, tried to find the town of Kyiv. Then he returns home, prior to the mountain drive of the Dnieper River, the Dnieper Mountains. And then he, rebuilds, moves to another city, the capital of Kyiv. So if it wasn't for the failure of Kyivets, perhaps Kyiv wouldn't be there today. According to other Byzantine testimonies, Prince Kyiv, King Kyiv, King Kyiv was a contemporary of Emperor Heraclius, 575-641. As his contemporary John of Nicaea writes in detail, by the power of the holy and life-given baptism he received, he defeated all barbarians and pagans. The friendly ties of the ancient prince with the Byzantine imperial court is evidenced by the primary chronicle. There's also archaeological evidence in the 6th, 7th centuries. The borders of the three cultural groups of monuments converged on the Poland's land, the Kyiv Oblast. So you have Prague, Kyiv, and Kolochin, Chyn, cultures. And in the 8th to 10th centuries, you got the Luka Rekavetska and Volintsivo culture. From the very beginning, Kyiv was the center of not one but several tribal groups. The text of the primary chronicle reads, it's in some kind of Greek language that I don't understand, that crazy fucking Ukrainian. So you have three brothers, legendary brothers, and you also have the sister Lybid, came tumbling after. Kyiv, Prince Kyiv, King Kyiv, Shchek and Khoryv, or Khoryv. So Khoryv, Shchek, and King Kyiv, and sister Lybid. So three brothers and a sister who founded the medieval city of Kyiv, which eventually, becomes the capital of the so-called Keevan Rus and da-da-da-da-da. So, what the hell is this shit about? Well, you have Nestor. He's just sitting there writing all this shit at the Cave Monastery in 1113. And he's talking about the finding of Kyiv. He's talking about the finding of Kyiv. These brothers, apparently they all were put upon a hill. It's like, you take that hill, and you take that hill, and then you take that hill. And then it says that some people, even though they said that, King Kyiv was the king of Kyiv, other people who didn't know what they were saying, this is according to the primary chronicle, said that Kyiv was just a ferryman. It argues that Kyiv, as a prince of his gens, was visiting Tsargrad, which is Constantinople, Byzantine. The Byzantine Empire lasts for 1,000 fucking years. If we're going to sit there and honor the Keevan Rus for, 400-year empire versus the Byzantine Empire, which is right next door, and there wouldn't have been no goddamn Keevan Rus if there wasn't no Byzantine Empire. King Kyiv, the founder of Kyiv, Prince Kyiv. Oh, King Kyiv and Prince Kyiv and Queen Kyiv and Princess Kyiv. Hey, what's up, Princess Kyiv? Why is everything in Ukrainian ski? Everything's a ski. Ina Shevchenko ski, Dostoevsky. You want to go to Aspen and ski. Okay, so great honors from the emperor. Expedition to Constantinople. Found a city of Kyiv on the Danube. So I don't know, was that first or second? But it says here Kyiv on the Danube. Kai founded a city of Kyivets. Nestor had approximated the date of the assault on Kyiv by the Khazar Empire as after the date of Kyiv, but, that confirms the hypothesis of Boris. But historian Jan de Lugasny drew attention to the other chronicle with the weird Z that asserts after the death of Kyiv, Shchek and Khoryv, their children and grandchildren who descended from them by direct lineage, ruled for many years. So which is true? When did the Khazars take over? Who knows? But we know that when the goddamn, ass cold and Dur, when the fucking Norse, when the Vikings, when the Olegs and the fucking Olgas and the Igors and the, Olga, Igor, Oleg, and Rurik, when the Rurik dynasty came in, the Khazars were oppressing the locals. So who were the locals of Kyiv at the time? The Khazars were oppressing them, making them pay taxes, making them pay tribute. I think it's the Slavs, right? It's a whole bunch of different Slavic tribes. The Drevlians and... So Kyiv is a Poland. So the Drevlians and the Polans. Those are Ukrainians. Kyiv is a Ukrainian. He's a native Ukrainian. He founded a Ukrainian city. The city is called Kyiv, named after Mr. Kyiv. Mr. Kyiv. I was like, that's one syllable, but it's too quick. You need something to slow it up. Why don't you throw a V on it? Kyiv? Perfect. Perfect. In those times, the Polans are also Polyans or Polyans. Polyans lived separately and were governed by their own family clans. The Eastern Slavs, and so those brethren of whom we shall talk further are also Polyans, and all they lived by family clans in their own places, and each was governed independently. There are three brothers. One's name's Kyiv, another Shchek, and a third Khoryv, and their sister Lybid. Kyiv was the hill where today is Bori Shiv descent. Sea of Shchek was the hill which today is called Shchek Khoryv, and Khoryv on the hill, which is named after him. Khorivitsia, and they built a city in honor of their older brother and called it Kyiv. Around the city, there's a great forest and thicket. They were hunting for beasts, and were those men wise and reasonable? They were called Polyans. From them, the Polyans are to this day in Kyiv. So that's the primary chronicle, motherfuckers. That means the Polyans are still in Kyiv. The native Polyans or the native Kievians are fucking Polyans. Kyiv is the one who fucking founded it. It doesn't say that he conquered anybody, it just says he founded it. And they said he was a ferryman. Oh, you're not the king of this fucking place. You're just a person taking people from this part of the river to yeah. And who the hell else is going? How else you going to get in here, motherfucker? Because I'm the ferryman that makes me the king. Or you don't understand how shit works around. This is 800 fucking. This is 500 BC. This is 500 AD, motherfucker. This is, after Gilgamesh. This is after, Confucius, after Jesus Christ, but it's before, internet, before the radio, before Daniel Greenberg and Mila Kunis and that 70s show. Archaeological excavation says there was an ancient settlement right there. Right exactly in that goddamn spot that they said that it was supposed to be. They said that the hill's named Shchekovitsa, Koretovitsa, let's see. Key lived upon the hill where the Borishev Trail is now. There's equivalents. There's like other brother, and these other brothers founded this city, and they're trying to say that. I don't think that that's a good parallel. But there was something interesting about the Bulgarian Apocryphal Chronicle. And then I'll just end it off on that. Well, no, actually. Go ahead and conclude everything. You got Let's Chechen Rus. But you have this Bulgarian Apocryphal Chronicle of the 12th century. It's going to sit there and talk about how they all talked about, you had three brothers or three people or something migrated to a foreign land, and the leader was the same name of the town. Okay, I mean, that the leader's going to name themselves after the town, but they're going to mention, Key and Kyiv, and then they're going to say Krobatos and Kroats, and then Slav and Bulgarians. So I'm not for sure what they're trying to say here. Are they trying to say that in the Bulgarian founding story, they had essentially, Key, Shchek, and Khoryv who were going out. One founded one hill, and the other one founded the other hill, and the other one was named Slav. So it wasn't Key. Key didn't find Kyiv, but Slav founded Kyiv. In Bulgaria, Key means Slav. I don't know. I don't know if that's. Seems like that's what it's saying to me. Near Kyiv, there's a stream where previously there existed a large village named Horvaka. It was destroyed in the time of Stalin. Flows into the Stuna River. So what does all this mean? What the hell am I talking about Key, Shchek, and Khoryv for? The history of Russia is different than the history of the Ukraine. The Ukraine is stronger, better, strong. They're better in every fucking which way. This Key is the first Ukrainian hero. Key is going to establish Kyiv. Whether it's Kuvar, whether it's Kuvar, or Kuvar, or Kyiv, or Kriv, or Key, or Kev, or Keevan Rus. Whatever you want to say, Kai, The Kievan prince, brought up at the court of the Emperor Justinian I in his youth, converted to Christianity in Constantinople, was educated there. Byzantine, the fucking goddamn Romans have records of this fucking Kai, this Kuver. What was the other one? Slav, fucking, King Slav. So there's still, Kievians today. There's still Kievians today from Key, Mr. Slav man. There's still Slavian keys, Eastern Slavian Poland keys. Poland's in the Ukraine, in Kyiv today, who might be getting killed today. Apparently Mariupol might be getting fucking leveled. Fucking tens of thousands of people going to get killed. It's like 100,000 people still left there. So you have Kievan Prince Key. He had the great honor of the king, received benefits in the lower Danube. He founded the town of Kyiv, but due to resistance from local tribes, could not gain a foothold there. That's why Key returned home, where he laid, probably rebuilt or moved to another city, his capital, Key. According to other Byzantine testimonies, Key was a contemporary of Emperor Heracles, 575-641, and his contemporary John of Nicaea writes in detail, by the power of the holy and life-giving baptism he received, he defeated all the barbarians and pagans, just because some asshole splashed water in his face. You had cultural groups and monuments. So you had lots of people in the Polands, these different cultures, Prague, Kyiv, Kolochin, Luka, Rakovetsky, Volintsevo culture. So Kyiv has been the center of not one but many tribal groups. Polans, Drevlians, we know for sure. Eastern Slavs. So these motherfucking Russians are looking back at these Swedish Vikings that came and conquered Ukraine, came and conquered the native Kievians, the native Polans, the native Eastern Slavians. I think the Slavic people could rule themselves. I think the Slavic people can, have their own, president, and they can elect their own shit. Maybe Putin thinks of the Ukrainians as, the slaves. They're going to be his slaves today. Whoa, Kyiv is the mother of Russia. That's why they're going to fucking level it. They're going to level the mother city. Does that sound like respect to you? So what am I talking about all this? Because when it comes to what fucking Putin is talking about, he's talking about 800 shit. In the 800s, the fucking Swedish Vikings went ahead and conquered or took over, killed, just straight up killed Askold and Dur. I don't know if they were Norse or the fucking Slavs to begin with, but either way, it's super fucked up. They just went in and just killed the fucking leader and took over it, right? Just assassinated their leader and said, "All right, I'm the, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. All right, I'm the new shepherd. Nah, I just killed your king, so I'm the new king." Is that how shit works? That we wrote a rules, constitution, and shit. We gotta elect you. I'm not for elections. Really? Shit. So when you situate where the hell Kyiv and Ukraine is in the entire world history of things, it's in the 400s or 500s when Kyiv is going to get founded in 500s. You already had a relationship between Kyiv and the Byzantine Empire. Kyiv is right there on the Dnieper River, so that would be quick and easy to get to fucking Kyiv. I guarantee you the Byzantines knew what the fuck was going on in Kyiv. And then they probably were sad to hear about the goddamn fucking Swedish Vikings taking over all the Varyags. I'd rather deal with the damn Polans. I'd rather deal with the damn, Drevlians. I'd rather deal with the Eastern Slavs. I don't want to deal with them goddamn Varyags. Who the fuck would want to deal with one of them fucking Swedish Viking dickheads? Rather talk to them nice Poland people. There's nice, original Kievians. There's nice original native Ukrainian people. So 750, you got all these different dates. 750, you had 41 Swedes are killed, left behind the island. Let's see. Bjorn Ironside raids Sini River in West Francia in 855 AD. It's all 800 shit. Rurik, Oleg, Igor, Olga, 860. The Rus attack Constantinople. This is Rurik and his brothers Sinius and Truver. So, there's three brothers, so that must, Rurik, a Swedish Viking Ruski, established Ladoga and Novgorod first. They built the Ladoga fortress. This is 862. So 862 is when they, established their first shit. But they're going to say that the traditional start date is 882 when Oleg kills Askold and Dur. The Kievan Rus begins when Oleg kills Askold and Dur. So this is all 700s, 800s shit. Now we know that humankind has existed for at least 3.2 million years ago. Lucy the hominin ape, the Australopithecus afarensis in Ethiopia. That's our ancestors. So we Homo sapiens have been on this earth in Africa, for over 3 million years now. 2008 is when we elected a black president. So, it only took 3 million and 2008 years to... But what I'm trying to say is that we know that, humans have been here since, for 3.2 million years. So that's to put it in a situation. Where is Kyiv? When was Kyiv founded? Kyiv was founded before Oleg and before, the Ironsides and the Vikings and before the, Rurik and Olga and all them people. Before all those Swedish Vikings came in and conquered everybody and said, okay, we're running shit. Now, about 300 or 400 years before that is when Kyiv established Kyiv. And, that's the Polans. The Polans were the ones that established Kyiv. The original native Ukrainians are the Polans. And the Drevlians and some other ones. But in Kyiv, it's the Polans. Kyiv is a Poland. He's Eastern Slavic. Yeah. So, or Polyan. He's a Polyan. So, who founded Ukraine? The Polyans. Who are the native Ukrainians? The Polyan people. The Polyan people, not the fucking Spanish Vikings or the Swedish Vikings. You also had Dregoviches, and then you had Igor's going to get ripped in two by the Drevlians. The Drevlians didn't like these fucking Spanish Vikings. The Ukrainians didn't like the Dregoviches, the Drevlians. The original Ukrainians didn't like these Swedish Vikings conquering their fucking lands. Apparently, the Drevlians, their name means wood or tree. They lived in the forest. Compared to the Polyani. Some people say they're not Polans, they're not Polyans, they're the Polyanis. So the Polyanis are kind of like the Polyanis. It's, if you're going to name a people, it's either got to be like the Scots, a cool ass the Scots, or it's got to be Polyani. It's got to be the Polyani people. But that means field. So they're in the open fields, and the Drev, the Drevlians were in the forest. The Drevlians were in the forest, and the people were living in the fields. The open fields were the Polyani. And it was the Polyani that founded Kyiv. It was the Polyani that founded Kyiv, and the Drevlians were around, I guess. But they're going to be the same Eastern Slavic tribes that's going to get conquered by the damn Swedish Vikings anyway. So really, the Drevlians and the Polyani should have united and fought against the damn rootsy, rootsy motherfuckers. You know what I mean?